Okay, for this project, it's about positive negative space and blowing up an object using a grid system. So you're going to need a ruler, a pencil, and your notebook paper for this. You can find the shape on the internet. You can trace a shape. You could trace a boot. You could trace a star. You could do a moon. You can trace any shape that you want. It doesn't have to be too difficult of a shape. A star is perfectly fine. And what you do is you have to find a 3-inch object. And what I'm going to have you do is you're going to put a box around it using a ruler. So in my situation here, I'm actually using Illustrator, which you probably don't have. And you're going to do this by hand, not by using a computer. So I'm going to draw a 3-inch box. So it's 3 by 3, all the way around my object. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to put little dash marks every ½ inch around my box. So for me, I'm going to move my ruler, and this is my digital ruler. You're going to have a real ruler, and you'll see that the 0 now lines up to the edge here, and the 3 lines up to the edge here. So every ½ inch, which is this right here, I'm going to make a mark or a whole line. And you're just going to draw a line every 3 inches. So first we're going to start here. You can try doing this with your real ruler, lining a straight line all the way across like that, and that looks simple enough, but I'm on a computer, so it's not that easy for everybody. What I would suggest doing is making a little pencil mark, or what I would call a tick mark, on the edge of your drawing right here every ½ inch. And in the end, you should have 6 boxes going across. I'm just putting little marks here, and this is what you'd be doing with your pencil, little tick marks at the end. And the same thing down here, every ½ inch. To see what I'm lining up to, you could look up, straight up this green line, and you can see exactly that's on the ½ inch mark. Now you just line your ruler up to the edge. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to line my ruler up, matching this line and this line, and I'm going to take my pencil and just draw straight down. Okay, so I'm going to do that. Now every ½ inch I'm going to do the same thing over here. As you can see over here, I have another ruler, and the 0 is lined up to the edge of my box. And every ½ inch I'm going to draw a line all the way across, but in your situation you're going to draw a little line here. You're going to come all the way to the other side and draw a little tick mark here. And then you take your ruler and go all the way across. Alright, now I'm just going to do mine really quick. You understand what to do. So every ½ inch. Doesn't matter if it's sloppy because this is not your final product. I mean, it can't be too sloppy, of course, because you have to copy it, but if this line is longer than that line over here, that's perfectly fine with me. Now, on the other half of your paper, because your notebook is 9 inches by 12 inches, so I made my document size 9 by 12 also. What you're going to end up doing is you're going to make a 6-inch box. So you're going to draw a 6-inch box. Now for me, because I'm an illustrator, I have the luxury of actually typing in 6 by 6 up here. You're going to actually have to draw your 6-inch box. And I made it 6 inches exactly. I'm going to move mine over to the little page so you can see what's going on. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to draw another grid in proportion over here. So I'm going to draw every 1 inch, I'm going to make a mark. And I should have 6 boxes going across. If you see here, there's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 boxes straight across and 6 up and down. You have the same amount of boxes here and the same amount of boxes up and down. Then I'm going to take my ruler, I'm going to drag it over to the edge of my box. You see the 0 lines up here, and the 0 lines up over there. And it's 6 inches. Okay? And I'm going to draw a grid system again. And you start with just little marks on the edges. Every 1 inch you make a little mark. Going all the way around your box like this. Before it was ½ inches, now it's 1 inch. Remember, light pencil, because you're going to have to end up erasing almost all these grid marks on this finalized box right here, so you want to be neater on this one. You're going to do the same thing all the way around, so you're going to do the sides too, but I'm doing this first. Now I'm going to go ahead and draw my lines. Line my ruler up to both little marks I made, go straight down. And that's how you make the line straight. So a lot of people are like, oh, I can't make the line straight, but they're only measuring one side, and it comes out all crooked. So if you measure both sides with your pencil, and you line your ruler up to both little marks, you should be okay. Now do remember, some rulers do not, the edge of the ruler doesn't always start at 0. You have to really take a close look at the ruler that you bought and see if the ruler actually starts at 0 at the very edge, or if it starts a tiny bit inward. So a lot of rulers start a tiny bit inward. So here we're at 0 here, and I'm going to line up down here to the 1. You can see in my sidebar I have the 1 inch, so I'm just going to come all the way across. And I'm going to do the same thing over there. You want to do this very lightly in pencil because you're going to have to erase a lot. Make sure you have a good eraser. I'm not saying you're going to make a lot of mistakes, I'm just saying that you're going to need an eraser for this project. And you're also going to have to paint this project with real paint, so you're going to have your tempera paint ready. Go all the way across. And now, what happens is a lot of people feel like they can't draw because they're trying to see too much information at once. They're like, oh, I can't draw a star, that's not possible. I can't even possibly do it. But it helps if sometimes if you look at different objects in portions. So here if I look at small sections of the star at a time, then maybe I'm more able to draw this, right? So in this section up here, I'm just going to put a dot there. You're not supposed to, just so you see, there's nothing here, and there's nothing here, right? And then there's nothing here, so I'm not going to do anything there. Not going to do anything there, but look, there's a little piece of star here. So I'm going to look, it's a little bit above the halfway mark, and it comes slightly down to almost the middle of this square. So I'm going to do the same thing. I'm going to take my line tool, and I'm going to draw a line from a little bit above the halfway mark to a little bit downward at an angle, almost the halfway mark, right here, right? Just like that one is. And then I'm going to come back down again right into the corner. And I'm not looking for 100% perfection over here. I know it's done by hand, but I want you to get close. I'm going to follow square by square. There's nothing here, nothing here. But I do know there's something here, and it goes almost all the way down, and it's very close, and it's very skinny over here. So I'm going to try to make that same exact thing. So I'm going to go all the way down to about there, and then downward to there, just like there. And I go straight down to like the middle of this one. So I'm going to go straight down here all the way to the middle. Right? Looks good so far, not too bad. And I'm going to come all the way back across this one, just only shows a small corner right there. And then all the way up again to here. And then all the way back down. So you're doing a little at a time. And again, you can do any shape you want, just can't be too simple. You cannot do a square, you cannot do a circle. But if you wanted to do, you know, a diamond, I would probably try to go a little bit more complex than a diamond. A star is good, a boot shape, a vase shape. That's good. Vases are always a good shape to start with. A bottle shape. And there's nothing in this box down here, so I'm going to make sure there's nothing in there. Alright, and then I'm going to come back up. It's the middle of that one, kinda. I think I messed that one up a little bit. It's a little bit more angled to that one. Then come out. And back again. All the way up. And again, I'm not looking for perfection here, just as close as you possibly can get it. Alright, it looks pretty good. Alright, and then what you're going to do is you're going to have to trace the inside or the outside of the shape. What you're doing is actually making the line a little bit thicker. So I'm going to do the same exact shape again, either a little bit smaller or a little bit larger, so this way I have room to paint. So how thick of a line is it that I want to make? I want to make it so my paintbrush fits in it. That's right, you have to use a paintbrush. So for me, I'm not going to redraw the whole thing. It's going to take too long. I'm just going to copy what I already have. And then I'm going to shrink it down. You're going to have to actually do this with a pencil. So this helps speed things along for you. Let's shrink mine down a little bit. So you're gonna double up the line. You want about the size of your paintbrush. Alright. So for me, I'm going to, elongate some of my lines because they need to be. Then what I would do is I'm going to erase all the grid lines now, all of them, except for the center one. So I'm going to erase that one with my pen. Remember I told you draw lightly. This is the reason right here. I'll leave my center line, which is this one, and my other center line going in the other direction. So delete this one and this one. And now I'm going to paint. I'm going to paint what you'd call a checkerboard pattern. The checkerboard pattern is going to be, maybe this shape would be all black, the inner part would be all black, and this over here, the line would be black, the outer point and the inner point would be white. Alright, so I'm going to do that in a different program, so you're going to have to start the second video for that one.